TV presenter and comedian Celeste Ntuli has announced her upcoming show called Celeste and the Big Dudes. She'll be joined on stage by comedy heavyweights such as Skhumba, Ndumiso Lindi, Mpho Popps, among others. Well, she joins us in studio to tell us more about the upcoming show. Celeste Ntuli, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for squeezing me in, because I know this is the season of politicians.
It is the season of politicians. And I want to tell you something. The reason why we even decided to have you in is not just because you're having a show, but because we need a break.
Oh, I know, right?
We need a break, Celeste. It's government of national unity. It's politicians deciding what to do. And we thought, you know what? If there's anyone who can give our country perspective, it's Celeste Ntuli.
One thing that has happened, all of us now, we're watching politics as if we're watching a series.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know what's going on.
No.
And the longer we wait, I love the fact that it alerts us to understand. Because I think we're kind of like relaxed into political stuff. We're like, okay, this is the things there are, but now we're like, okay, what's going to happen?
What's actually happening?
Yeah. People are like, I don't know why the market is affecting all of us. Whether you're saying you're going to be unemployed or the market. Yeah.
Because the reality is, and I've always felt that, you know, part of what happens is that sort of political awakening, if you will, has happened in our country as a result of tragedy, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
You know, the tragedy of our politics makes everyone aware. I think of the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Everyone now is a lawyer.
Of course. Oh, now we know. We are being taught in so many things. I feel like I do have a crash course at this point.
Listen, so talk to us about what you've been up to, and also just your perspective on where we are as a country. You know, are you happy to be a comedian in this country during this time?
I'm extremely happy. I was lucky enough in the last month, I went to LA and I did Dubai.
Yes.
And to understand where we are as South Africans in comedy space, it's so important. We are hilarious, we are funny, and I think how we've transitioned as a country, no matter we have our issues, but it has taught us to express ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think as comedians, we are lucky enough to have not only the content, because
we've got content for days.
Listen, some of the stuff I couldn't even write the punchlines. I'm like,
it's just
these
happening.
things are writing themselves.
Yeah,
so I love where I am as a comedian, and I love the fact that I'm a comedian in such a space. And I love where we are as a country, because at least we talk about stuff that we didn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
The fact that there are certain issues that some people are finding contagious, and some of them have been either racially or tribally based, but more especially, it was something that we have to talk about. So I think the fact that we are here, we're at the point of contention where we're like, okay, now we have to address these issues, whether you agree with them or not.
Yeah. How does comedy help us to do that, you know? I think back to some of the things that you've said where, and I'll give you an example, and I actually have used this in arguments over, you know, the battle of the sexes. I go, hey, I've got one, and I quote you because it works all the time. But there's something, talk to me about how you've seen comedy be able to tackle difficult conversations. I mean, I remember one moment when you said, you know, we need more men in South Africa that are less concerned with ichisanyama. You remember that?
You know, I've been bumping into so many people missing that. This was 2015 conversation with a colleague when I was still on Isbai, and Bongani Kumedo, we talk about these conversations about where we are as a country. And I think, obviously, we are in a different era when it comes to gender issues and our gender roles. And now there's a lot of talks about who's masculine, who's feminine, how much femininity fluid you are in between. It's a whole lot of things that people are unpacking. So I think such things about us being aware where we are as a country was needed. After COVID, we really had to shake up and shape up to say, listen, where are we? What do we want for ourselves, and what was the goal? You know, I think because at some point, we were too happy as a country for us to even acknowledge.
We were celebrating too much.
We celebrated too much.
I see celebrating.
So this is a good, I love the conversations, because I used to be on these platforms and talk about racial conversations and be like, Celeste, this is an old story. But now you realize that there is a racial conversation that needs to be heard. And whether you feel like, oh my God, we can't just push things away and feel like they're not happening. As much as we address certain things for the future, we must address stuff that is not addressed from the past.
I must tell you that watching the trajectory of your career has been so exciting, because we've got, number one, a female comedian is a rare. very rare thing in our country, right? And then to be very, very successful at it as well, whether male or female, very rare. And I've always wondered if the magic has been how relatable you are, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. And you talk a lot about staying true to yourself. And I think that works for you. For a lot of people, in fact, it attracts them to you.
I think me being a big person, it started on a physical understanding of self. Me being a bigger person at my house, being physically, I was aware that I'm different. And because of my physical appearance, most of the time I would be the big one, the tall one, in my classmates, in my friends. So that had me a lot of self-awareness. I think even though I was not aware that was happening, now that I looked back, when I was young, I had a lot of self-awareness as a human being. No, I've never had an issue. And also my siblings have never given me, I've never been that big person like, oh my God, me, I'm big. It's never been a thing. It was a thing because the society will tell you. But it was a thing that made me want to know me more. And so I use that a lot in my comedy, that also I'm not ashamed. There are things that are happening that you feel like they are ashamed because the society has told you so. Like, for example, most women, our mothers, it was a shame to get divorced. Now people are doing divorce parties. Like, so you see,
they plan it. They plan it at the beginning of the marriage, on the day of our divorce.
So we are different women now. And people are like coming to me like, Celeste, you don't have kids. Don't you want them? It's like people when they say you don't have kids, like you hate kids. No, it's never about that. But also, I'm not going to be extremely depressed as if I don't have any other thing that is going on in my life that I could celebrate. You know what I mean? And also it's a level of acceptance, what God gave you. And also accept that is also a life. Because we don't talk much about, if you die as a woman at 45, if you've never been married, never had kids, you don't go to heaven. If there is a heaven, whatever that you believe in. But that person's life is not in vain, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you know how many women you've liberated just by saying that? Because there is this constant pressure to be a certain way.
If you die today and you are not that certain way, are you really going to be angry at your life? Is the question. For me, unfortunately, I grew up in rural areas. Everything is an upgrade. Even if I do want to feel sad, I'm like, but I'm doing well though. You know, I
in
say
comparison.
I'm taking stock. I'm like, not that you don't want that, but don't let it depress you to a point where you don't see that you are not grateful on anything that happens in your life.
You know, you took and wanted to Mbogotorize you for a little bit, and then I saw you quoted as saying, "I'm not a Mbogoto, I'm a feminist. I'm a woman. I'm soft like other women from different races who've enjoyed being a Barbie and soft, while most black women had to be a Mbogoto." Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much for
saying that. Soft life is upon us as black girls. It must be.
Sifuna sonke. Iyasifanela. Okay. Celeste and the Big Dudes, a great play on words to the legendary Brenda Fassie and the Big Dudes, yes? The lineup, the dates, the tickets, give us everything.
The tickets, I had Compy Ticket. I'm doing a show in Durban at the ICC. I'm doing it with another lady, Thandi Mavasa. He's assisting me. She's assisting me from Do Conflict. She does Do Conflict events, so I'm going to be doing that with her in Durban, and then in Joburg, it's Emperor's Palace, Center Court. And I'm loving, honestly, all the comics that are there honored me so much because I didn't know all of them are going to be available. And when they said yes, all of them, I said, God, thank you. Because it has been, I started it last year, but I only managed to do one show last year. So this year I'm doing 3 cities. Cape Town, I'm still working with you. I might do it at Grand West Arena or Artscape. I'm looking at the 2 spaces.
Beautiful spaces.
So or even ICC. So we're working on it, so they must not shy me. But all the tickets I had Compy Ticket. They can get them. The show is on the 11th of August in Durban, and it's on 17th of August in Johannesburg, 17th of August. Emperor's Palace. And it's my birthday month, so if anything...
Your birthday on Women's Month?
Yes, on the 25th of August is my birthday, so people must do the things, please, Mandla.
She's a natural non-Mbogoto.
We need to be soft.
No, we love it. We love it. Listen, I wish you all the best with the show, and congratulations, because a black woman headlining her own comedy show in this here South Africa, we're getting somewhere as a country.
Thank you. You see, it's also my own small coalition.
GNU, Celeste Ntuli, there you have it. That was a comedian extraordinaire, Celeste Ntuli. Go and check out the show. Celeste and the Big Dudes, taking place in 3 cities. Johannesburg on the 17th of August as well. Tickets are available at Compy Ticket. There's something.